Hello, Braille class, and welcome back for your science lesson this week. Can you tell me what we've been learning about in science so far? Can you tell me? That's right, we have been learning about plants and trees. Now, last week, do you remember that I planted a bean? So I had to soak them in water to get them started, and then I planted them in my pots. Well, I thought I'd show you what's happened so far. Ready, drum roll. Let's have a look. Ta-da! So not much has happened, but I can see that two of them have started to sprout. So can you see that one? It started to sprout, a little shoot coming out. I might have to turn it round. And here, this one has started, the skin of the kidney bean that I planted has started to come off. And then I can see underneath there's a tiny little shoot starting to appear. And I'm hoping, what do you think might grow first? So I've got my little shoot. What else do you think I might start to see very soon? Can you tell me? That's right, I'm going to start seeing the roots appear. So I'm hoping next week when I show you, there might be a bit more progress and we can have a look and see the roots all appearing. Okay, now I've had a look at the other teachers and theirs seem to have grown a bit quicker. So I'm not sure why mine hasn't grown, but I've had a think about it. Now, I can't really see any beans starting to grow in this one, unfortunately, but I'm hoping next week I might see some more beans. Why do you think mine might not have grown? Can you tell me? Well, it can't be the sunlight because I had it in the sun. I've kept it in the window and it's got soil. It's got air and space. What else did it need? Water, needed water as well. Now it has had water, but I think I might have put too much water in it. So I'll have to keep an eye out and see if it grows. So I'm going to put it somewhere warm for the soil to dry out a little bit, because I might have got a bit too over enthusiastic and given it a little bit too much water. Okay, let me see if I can share my screen with you today. So I'm hoping you have your piece of paper ready. So you're going to need to pause me in a minute and go and get this. So do you remember last week we started to draw our observations, and we're going to do this each week to see what happens. So we put, I can only see soil. And unfortunately, nothing's happened yet. So I've just put, there are no seedlings. There are no seedlings yet, because there are no seedlings just yet. And hopefully next week, when we come back, there might be a little seedling. Fingers crossed for me, year one. So week 2, there are no seedlings. So I've just drawn my pot with some soil in. Okay, so pause me now. See if you can fill in week 2. Don't do any further because we're going to carry on filling in those weeks as we go along. Okay, so we are going to be learning about trees today, and 2 types of trees. And I'm going to tell you about those in a bit. But what I want to know is what you know about trees already. Can you tell me? I'm going to listen. Fantastic. You know lots about trees already. You know that trees have branches, they have trunks and leaves, and they also have roots in the ground which keep them stable, stop them from falling over. So I'm going to show you some pictures and I want you to tell me what's happening. Can you see the branches and the leaves in those pictures? What's happening in them? Let's have a look. I'm just going to move my little labels down here. Okay, so let me read these to you and then I want you to see if you remember what they are. So I've got winter, autumn, summer, and spring. Good. And now they are called, that's right, they are called the seasons. And in a year, we have 4 different seasons, and special things happen in those seasons, especially when it comes to trees. Now, can you have a look at this picture? What season do you think might be shown in that picture? That's right, winter. Winter. We can tell that because of the snow But what's happened to the leaves of the tree in that photo? Can you see? What's happened? That's right, all the leaves have fallen off and there's no leaves to be found. Okay, so that's winter. Let's have a look. What season do you think this one is? Can you tell me? It is summer. Summer. And we can see all the leaves are on the trees and they're beautiful green colours. Now here, can you see? There have been some flowers growing and we call that blossom. And blossom grows in springtime. So you have to keep an eye out on the springtime. When things start to grow again, you might see some blossom on the trees. Ooh, what's happened to the leaves in this picture? That's right, they're starting to turn beautiful colours of orange and browns and yellows, and they're about to start falling off on the ground. And we call that season autumn. Good. Now, these are some pictures of a type of tree, and we're going to talk about this in a second. So, we have got deciduous tree, deciduous, evergreen, evergreen. So there are two types of trees, deciduous and evergreen, and those were some pictures of some deciduous trees. So I want you to have a think, and the clue is in the name. Why do you think a tree is called an evergreen tree? Can you ever think? That's right, well done if you got it. They're called evergreen because it keeps its leaves all year round. It's forever green, keeps its leaves all year round. And we often see trees like this at Christmas time. Those kind of pine trees, they keep their leaves all year. They're always green all year round. Now, a deciduous tree, can you see what's happened to the deciduous trees? That's right, they lose their leaves each year. So deciduous trees lose their leaves in autumn because in autumn the leaves start to change colours and they go all beautiful yellows and oranges and browns and then they fall off the trees. Okay, I'm going to jog your memory now. Can you tell me what is an evergreen? Fantastic. It's a tree that keeps its leaves all year round. And some examples of that, we have pine trees, fir trees like Christmas trees. What is a deciduous tree? Can you tell me? Fantastic. A deciduous tree is one that loses its leaves in the autumn and has no leaves left by the time it's winter. So we can see a picture here of it in summer. And then when it's winter, all the leaves have fallen off on the ground. So some examples of that are birch, oak, horse chestnut. And they are the types of trees. Okay, can you tell me, when do trees lose their leaves? What season is it? Which one? That's right, it's in autumn. So you can see a picture here of autumn. They're all changing colour and falling down, and then in winter, there's hardly any left. So let's have a look at the different types of trees. Do you notice any similarities or differences about the leaves? That's right, they're all different shapes. Now over this side we have evergreen. Can you see evergreen trees? So look, a bit like our Christmas trees, and their leaves are very funny shaped. Some of their leaves are a bit like little needles, we call them, little pine needles. They're very spiky and prickly. Now over here, we have some deciduous trees and you can see the shape of the leaves are different. So you can see this one is an oak. Good, and the oak tree, we can tell by looking at the leaves what tree it is because the shapes are different. So here, this one is the leaf from an oak tree. And this one is the leaf from a horse chestnut. And you can see it's a beautiful shaped leaf, hasn't it? And these leaves fall off the trees in autumn because they are deciduous. Thank you for joining in with me. Okay, so your activity today, I want you to get outside and get exploring, okay? So I want you to see the different types of trees and tell me whether they are deciduous or evergreen. So you might look outside and say, oh, I can see a deciduous tree because it has no leaves left on it. Or I can see that is an evergreen tree because it's still green and has its leaves on. So if you're not able to go for a walk, you can look outside your window and see if you can spot any. So then I want you to take some pictures of your going on your walk and telling me perhaps the different trees that you might see. You might record yourself, or you might just get some pictures and get mum and dad to write a comment about what you were able to tell them. Okay, and then post them on Tapestry so I can see them. That would be fantastic. Then, if you've done that, what you can do on your walk is you can collect, ooh, I lost them, some leaves from the different types of trees. So here, I've got 2 leaves and they're still green coloured. What tree do they belong to? What type of tree? That's right, evergreen, because it still had its leaves on. I had to go and pick them off, unfortunately. So what you need to do is you need to put your leaves, we're going to create a picture using the different leaves from the different trees. I'm going to do some rubbings. So you need to put your leaves underneath a piece of paper, like I've done here. Underneath a piece of paper, get a crayon, and then you rub the leaf like this. And then what you have is you have some rubbings of some different types. I'll just stop share so you can see some different types of leaves. Can you see those? So what you can do is create a beautiful picture for me using the leaves from perhaps some evergreen ones. See if you can find some deciduous ones, perhaps on the floor. Might need drying out if it's a bit rainy. Okay, and I can't wait to see all of your fantastic work on Tapestry. Bye, Year 1.